The Red Sox for the last 3 years have been like that new Captain America movie. Very mid, and just like that movie, they've been flops, just failures, but in the most midway possible, if that makes sense. After going on a fun postseason run in 2021, they finished in last place 2 years in a row with identical records of 78 and 84 before improving in 2024 only to be 81 and 81. It's been very frustrating, especially since they've been so close to being a good team, like a move or two away from making the playoffs, but the ownership treated doing that as if it was the plague. But during these last 3 years, as frustrating as they've been and as little money as they've been spending, the Red Sox have been high-key cooking with the farm system. It's been quietly brewing over these last few years, but with the Red Sox ready to get back to winning this year and beyond, there are 3 Red Sox prospects who are not just ready to be big leaguers all at the same time, but seriously ready to dominate this game in a way you rarely see. During 2021, their last good season, they drafted Marcelo Meyer with the 4th overall pick, and apparently this was the Red Sox's highest draft pick in over 50 years. A lot of people had Meyer as the best prospect in the draft, called him a 5-tool player, so it was a pretty big deal. Then a year later, they drafted Roman Anthony with the 79th overall pick, and like Meyer, was considered a very highly ranked prospect. Fast forward another year, and they draft Kristian Campbell in the 4th round, so someone with not as much hype out of the draft, but still promising. Fast forward to the current day, and yeah, these 3 may be a problem. Really quick, as always, if you're part of the 51% of viewers not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button if you enjoy the videos, as Baseball America came out with their top 100 prospects for 2025 not too long ago, and forget these 3 players being in the top 100. You only have to go through 12 players to run through all of them. Roman Anthony is the number 2 prospect in baseball right now, behind just Roki Sasaki. That's it. So he's the most highly regarded hitting prospect. At number 7 is Kristian Campbell, and then Marcelo Meyer at 12. The biggest issue with any of these 3 has been Marcelo Meyer's health. He's had shortened seasons the last couple of years because of injuries, a shoulder issue in 2023, and a lower back issue last year. So it's definitely a concern as for how he can stay on the field consistently, I guess, but he's still been pretty damn productive when he does play. He struggled in Double-A in 2023, even hitting under 200, but was much better last year, like a lot better, jumping his average up to over 300. Like, it was an insane bounce back, one that earned him a promotion to Triple-A, which is where he then ended his season because of the back injury, but he's back and fully ready to go this year. And for the Red Sox, one of the cooler things I guess you can say about how loaded the farm system has gotten is the fact that Marcelo Meyer, yeah, he was the guy when they drafted him. He's since been around top 10 in prospects in the entire game, yet the Red Sox have had 2 other players become more hyped in just a couple of years. That's not a knock on Meyer, it just goes to show how strong the Red Sox development has gotten. Now, I can already hear you through the screen. These are just prospects. Yes, I get it. But I think what you look more at isn't necessarily the fact that they're just highly ranked prospects, but more so how quickly they've been developing into big leaguers, how fast they're adjusting and just getting better at such a young age. Anthony and Campbell are picture-perfect examples of this, and it's so cool each newer draft pick is arguably more exciting than the next. The man drafted a year after Meyer, Roman Anthony, he's been awesome. I mean, his name alone should get him an automatic spot in the big leagues, let's be real. But he was drafted at 18 years old in 2022, yet in just a couple of years at such a young age, he's already big league ready. He's torn up every level of minor league baseball since the start of 2023, a year he started in low A. To put some more context into just how quickly he's made a name for himself, he wasn't at all ranked in the top 100 prospects in 2023. Then 2024, not only did he crack the list, no, he was deemed all the way as the 24th best prospect in baseball. Now, 1 year later, if it wasn't for Roki Sasaki, he'd be number 1. He's just rapid fire shot through the minor leagues at such a high level, it's ridiculous. Although there is one little concerning thing, I'll admit. I was recently at Red Sox spring training, and Roman Anthony was hitting in the backfields while he and some of the other guys hit Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar was playing, and I overheard Anthony say Kendrick lost his fastball. I'm sorry, diabolical take. If there was ever a time Kendrick Lamar had his fastball, it would be now. So that's a little weird. I'd like some further explanation on why he thinks such a preposterous thing, so I just thought that was a little crazy. But other than that, I mean, so far he's been pretty flawless in what you want in a prospect. He's developed more and faster than like 99% of players usually do. Then there's the guy I'm most excited about, Kristian Campbell. Like I said, with each passing draft pick, it arguably gets more exciting, even though the order of how highly they were picked in the draft went down. Campbell was, again, a 4th round pick, and it's not like it was ever looked at as a bad pick, but there wasn't necessarily a ton of noise surrounding him when he was drafted. Yet, somehow, someway, he's been even more impressive and rapidly improving than Roman Anthony. You know, the guy I literally just said his shot through the minors quicker than anyone. Yeah, Campbell's somehow done it quicker, and he reminds me of someone you may know. Now, he is a couple years older than Anthony, as he was drafted in 2023 out of college, but even then, he wasn't even ranked highly enough. He wasn't drafted out of high school in 2021, even though being ranked the 125th best prospect by Perfect Game, a scouting service. So he went to Georgia Tech, but redshirted his first year there, meaning he didn't play any games. He was just around the team getting experience without actually playing in games. But he played some games in a summer league that year in 2022, was awesome. Played some games for Georgia Tech in 2023, was even better, and that's when he was drafted by Boston. And since being drafted by Boston, this motherfucker has been awesome. In just a year and a half's time, Kristian Campbell's gone from some unknown 4th round draft pick to the 7th overall prospect in baseball. In his first full season of professional baseball, just last year, he won Minor League Player of the Year and went from starting the 2024 season in Single A to someone people think could be on the 2025 Red Sox opening day roster. That's Juan Soto type levels of a fast track. Now, the biggest concern with Campbell is his crazy lack of ability to know how many people can fit into an NBA arena.
How many people do you think are here tonight?
I cannot tell you how many people are here tonight.
You had to guess.
I'm gonna say 60,000.
60?
That's like a football game.
Is that too much?
Let me see. Let's see how much this holds.
Yeah, how much does this hold?
It holds like just about 20,000.
I was way off. My bad.
The kid being the most shocked is the best part. But nah, Campbell's quickly become one of my favorite players to watch. He has this aura to him. I mean, they all do, but there's just something about him that's so gravitating. And then I realized, you know who he reminds me of? And I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking this. Mookie Betts. His swing is so similar to Mookie's, especially when he first came up. He has those quick hands. It's almost as if he's skipping when he hits the ball, if that makes sense. And Mookie is also someone I immediately loved before it was cool to love him. I'm ahead of the game on a lot of that stuff. I'm so serious. I don't hate them anymore, but I hated the Astros even back in 2017 before anyone knew of any cheating. I just didn't like them. So it was pretty satisfying to see the entire world unify with that take in 2020. I even remember liking Steph Curry a lot back in 2013, 2014 before his popularity reached its peak. People liked him then, but it wasn't like how it became a couple years after that. So yeah, if I like or dislike someone or something, just trust my judgment. No. But really, Mookie was another guy I immediately loved in 2014 before he was remotely a star. And I'm getting the same feeling here with Kristian Campbell. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see how great and fast he's been soaring through the minors. Wander Franco, I'm not talking to you. But if you look at Campbell's journey, it's also pretty similar to Mookie's. It's like a quicker version of Mookie. Mookie Betts was a 5th round draft pick without a ton of noise, was a second baseman and became an elite outfielder while becoming a top 5 player in the game overall, gaining more power as he's grown. Kristian Campbell was a 4th round draft pick without a ton of noise, is and has been a second baseman, but is expected to become an outfielder because of how crowded the Red Sox infield is, and he's become a more powerful hitter since his college days. Then you see the swing side by side again. I mean, come on now. I'm not deeming Kristian Campbell as the next Mookie Betts. No, Kristian Campbell is about to be the first Kristian Campbell, and we'll see how good that is. But from what we've seen so far, it's more than promising. Again, despite being drafted later than the other two guys, Campbell's been who most think will make the big leagues first. And it's just so cool to see the development he's made in such a small amount of time. Like I said, he's become more powerful of a hitter the last year while still keeping his ability to avoid strikeouts. Somehow his ability to do that got better as he advanced in levels. In Single A last year, Campbell struck out 46 times and walked 27 times. Then he went to Double A, and in 16 more games than he played in Single A, struck out only 38 times and walked almost as many times with 35. And then in 19 AAA games, he struck out 18 times and walked 13 times. That's also something Mookie Betts is damn good at, by the way. Having a walk count not that far off from his amount of strikeouts. And then the power he's gained. Yeah, in college, he only hit 4 home runs. Before 2024, Campbell had only 8 home runs overall, so half of them coming in college. Last year, he popped 20 and smoked another in the recent spring breakout game. And he wasn't the only one. MLB has this cool thing where teams' best prospects face each other for a few games during the spring, and the Red Sox top prospects just took on the Rays top prospects. The big three, Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, and Kristian Campbell, all got the start, and they all went deep. Campbell started it off with a shot to right center. 2 pitches later, Meyer goes back-to-back with him, and then Roman Anthony felt left out, so he decided to park one over everything in right. An absolute moon bomb. And just to add to how epic of a homer it was, there unfortunately happened to be some low IQ humans in the stands chanting overrated seconds before Anthony hit one to the next county. I mean, come on now, that is sick. Someone next time please chant that Kendrick Lamar is our Lord and Savior. He's gonna hit one to the sun. Like I acknowledged earlier, yes, these are prospects. No, nothing is proven. But the hype is real. There's a reason they've all of a sudden become arguably the 3 most anticipated prospects in the entire game. I think having a guy like Alex Bregman around doesn't hurt at all either. In fact, it's already showing how great that can be for the young guys. Veteran players don't typically go on long bus rides during spring training or ever. They've earned not to have to do those anymore. But after Meyer and Anthony started teasing Bregman about it, Bregman said to hell with it and decided to go along for the trip from Fort Myers to Sarasota one day. Anthony ended up not being able to go because he caught the bug that's been going around the Red Sox lately, but that didn't stop Bregman from having a grand old time with Meyer and Campbell on the bus. That's awesome. And again, such a big part of what Bregman adds to this team beyond the obvious, which is what he does on the field offensively and defensively, giving the big 3 that extra support and knowledge of someone who's only ever known success. The Red Sox have such a crowded team, both in the outfield and infield, so it'll be interesting to see how it all shapes up. And not all 3 guys are going to be ready to start the year, but the big 3 is ready. They're more than just prospects at this point. They're powerful forces ready to be unleashed, and this really has the potential to be something special.